Hello everyone, we are back again with our latest video on SQL tutorial Pikachu by Pikachu Group. And in this particular video, we are going to discuss some of the most asked SQL Server interview question, which are basically for 0 to 7 years of experience level people. So without any delay, let's move on to the first question of today's video. Okay, so we have covered in this particular video, we have covered overall concept, like we have some questions on DDL commands, we are like create, drop, and truncate, and then we have some on insert statements, some on joins and all. So basically it's a mix up of all type of questions. Now move on to the first question. So here what we have, write down. So first question is, write down the query to create department table with identity column, department ID. So basically this is a basic question. And what is the identity column? We have already discussed the same on our video on channel. So you can go on the description and you will find the link for that particular video also. And for a detailed description about identity column, you can go through that particular video. But here also we will discuss some of the important parts. So a revision will happen here also. So basically identity column are those columns which will provide automated value. We don't need to explicitly provide values for identity columns. Okay, they will generate their own value automatically, like 1 2 3 in a sequence. Okay, so non-repetitive values they will generate automatically. So now what is the question? So the question is like, create a department table with identity column department ID. So here we have already created one new database for this particular session, which is SQL Server interview. Okay, now in SQL Server interview we are querying our this question. So you can check the server name from here also at the top, and from the bottom here also you can check the server name if you are running your query in a verified server or not, means in the same database or not in which you want to execute. Okay, so now how to create a table? So create statement is very simple. Create table, then table name, which is departments in our case, departments, departments. And then you need to, in the under parenthesis, you need to provide the column names with their data types. Okay, so basically in this particular table we will keep department ID column as identity column. Okay, department ID. So making a column as identity column from the query perspective, how you will do this? So you just need to mention the column name and then data type, and after this you need to provide identity, IDENTITY. So this one is the identity column, and then you need to specify the seed value and the increment value. So basically what is the seed value and increment value? So seed values are those from which the table value will start, the identity column value will start, and increment will be the value by what value it should increment. Okay, so here we will keep it as 1. We should start at 1 and then increment by 1. Okay, so this is clear. Now move on to the next column. So next column we will keep like department name, and this will be our varchar 50. Okay, and then one more column we will take like employee ID, employee ID column, employee ID, employee ID. Okay, and this will be our integer column. Okay, now execute this, and this is the solution that you need to provide to the interviewer. Okay, this is the final query. Now execute this. The table has been created. Okay, now copy this department table and then do a select star. So select star from department table. Okay, execute this. And then how you will know if the department ID is the identity column or not? So for that you need to go to the database, expand it, and expand the tables. So currently we don't have the employee departments table. Now refresh this, then department table will appear to you. And then here in the expand part you need to expand this and then expand the columns. Then here you can see department ID, integer not null, and department name, employee ID, and then I think in constraints we will find the identity column. Okay, we are not getting this. So no, don't worry, we can use one inbuilt SP that we have already discussed in our previous video on store procedure, which will be SP underscore help. That will provide us the definition of the table. Okay, SP underscore help. Now execute this. So select this and then execute. Then see here we are getting the full description of the table. So what it is telling, like department ID is the identity column and seed value is 1, increment value is 1. Okay, so by this you can show the table definition also, that our table has been created one identity column which is department id. Okay, now this is clear. Now move on to the next question. Comment this particular question, and if you want these queries and data that we create here, so you can contact us at our telegram channel. So you will find the link for that in our description and also on our channel description also. Okay, so basically we are uploading these things like scripts and datas and all at the telegram channel. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have, the second question. So write down the query to create a students table with identity column student id. Okay, in which student id starts with 1000 and increment by 100 each time. So basically here we need to provide the student, create the student table and then provide student id as the identity column, in which the identity column is going to seed by 1000, means start by 1000 and increment by 100 each time. So this time we will create the table using the SSMS graphical user interface, so that how to create from there, that idea we will also get. Okay, so these things we have already discussed, but when we resolve the question, then in that time also we will discuss each of the things. Okay, so for creating a table from the graphical user interface, what you need to do, you need to right click on the table and then new table, then click on table, and then here you need to define your columns. So here we will take like student id column, student id, and then this will be our integer column. And how to provide identity from GUI, so for that you need to go down and expand this little bit. Okay, then when you go down, then here you will get one thing like identity specification. Okay, so click on this, and then is identity, so currently by default it is no, then here you need to do it as yes. Okay, yes, when you do, then this particular tab will be open, like in identity increment at identity seed. So seed we are going to provide like 1000 and increment each time we will do by 100. Okay, so this is very simple. Now 100. Okay, and then provide the second column which is student name column. Okay, student student name. Okay, and this will be varchar 50. So varchar 50. Okay, now what you need to do, you need to right click above and then save table, then table name change it to students table, students students. Okay, now press ok, then your table has been created. Now when you refresh on tables, then you will find like the table student has been created. Okay, now execute it, select top 1000 rows. So here currently no records are there, so we will insert some record and check if our identity insert is working or not, if it has 1000 seed and 100 increment or not. So for that we need to insert two values, we will insert two and check. So insert into students, students. So insert into students and then provide the value, and our value will be like, so just we need to provide the value for student name because student id is our identity column. So Ram, and then John under the single quote, and then we will put some female names like Ria, we will put RIYA Ria, and then one name like Mary, so MARRY Mary. Okay, so this is clear to everyone. Now execute this insert statement, then we will check the select star. Okay, execute this, and 4 rows has been affected. No, somewhere we have done the mistake. So where incorrect syntax near values s we need to mention values. Okay, now execute this. So 4 rows has been affected. Now when we do select star on the students table, then we will check. See, so here our student id column is starting from 1000 and incrementing by 100 each time. So this is the final query, this is the final query you need to provide to the. So for that query we have not created, so that query we can generate from here also. Okay, so how to generate a query, that you will also check here. So right click on the table name and then script table as, and then create query we need. So create to new query editor window. Okay, so here, one second, it's loading. So here you can get the same query. So create table name, then student id, and identity. So seed is 1000 and increment is 100, not null, and then student name. Okay, so varchar 50. So this is clear to everyone. So this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer. Now move on to the next question. So next what we have after second question, we have the third one. One second. No. Okay. So third question, write down the query to create event table with primary key event ID. So basically how to add a primary key, that it need to be discussed using the query, how we will add primary key. Okay. So while creating a table, we can mention it here only. So while creating a table, you can create the primary key also. So how? So just create one event table. So create table and then the event table, events, events, events underscore table, and then you need to, in under parenthesis, you need to mention the column names. So column name will be event id, which will be our integer, and this particular column we need to make as primary key. So for making this as primary key, just after the data type you need to mention primary key. Why primary key? Okay, and then put comma and then event name, which will be our varchar 50, varchar 50. So basically these questions are asked for checking your query writing skills and basic skills. Okay, if you are able to write the query for create table and all, or primary key you can make or not, so that particular option, these questions are asked in interviews. Okay, so now execute this, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer. Okay, so command completed successfully. Now select star from events table. What record we are getting? So select star from events table. Execute this. So currently it's empty. So how to check if primary key has been created or not? So for that, go to the GUI, refresh the tables. Okay, then here we are getting the event table, and then expand this table. Then in columns, you can see here also event ID is PK. PK prefix is added here, which is primary key. And in keys also, when you expand, then you will find the primary key. And this is the random name provided by Microsoft SQL Server. So while providing the primary key at the beginning of the means create statement, so you will get a randomly generated name of the primary key, which is provided by the SQL Server itself. Okay, and when you write when you add the primary key using a alter statement, or means at the bottom of the create statement, then you can put a name as per your requirement. Okay, so how to do this, that we will also discuss in the later question. Now comment this out and then move on to the next question. So next what we have, how to set primary key using alter command. Okay, so basically this question will come. Now go to SSMS and check how to create a primary key using alter command. So in department ID, we don't have any primary key column. So if we expand this, and then in columns, we are not having any primary key column. So what we will do, we will make department ID as the primary key column, because all the records in department ID column are unique. Okay, so copy this and then do a select star first on department table, and then we will create a primary key on that. So select star from departments table. Execute this. So here no records are currently available. Now we will make department ID as primary key. So how to do this? So you need to write a alter command. So alter 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 table, and then the table name. Okay, and then add primary key, primary primary key, alter table, add primary key, and on which column we want to add? So department ID column. Okay, so here we need to mention the column on which we are going to apply the primary key. So department ID column. Okay, and here we can mention the name also, I guess. So alter table department, then add pk underscore departments underscore department ID. Okay, now press enter here, and then execute this. Try to execute. So the definition is of this must include a data type. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so incorrect syntax. Okay, so this I will confirm later. So this particular query will work for you. Okay, so alter table, table name, add primary key, department id. Now execute this, and this will create the primary key on department id column. Okay, so now execute, select star from departments table, and then expand the refresh the departments table one time, and then go to columns. So here you can see department id is a primary key, and if we expand the keys, then also we are getting the primary key created on department id column. Okay, so this is clear for now. Now move on to the next question. Okay, and that I will mention in later videos, that where we are going to mention the name of the primary key. So as this is a live video, so we can't go and check how to apply that one, so we will confirm you later on. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have, fifth question. So write down the query to create table with all constants like primary key, foreign key, unique key, check, default, and not null. So how to create a table with which will have all the constants, and how to add the constants while creating the table. That is the complete question. So how to create a table and add constants on that while creating the table. For that you need to write the query like, comment it out. So let's create one employees table where we will apply all the constants. Okay, so create table, and then table will be employees table, employees, PLOYEES, employees. So basically how many constants we have currently? We have the primary key constant, foreign key, unique key means 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So 6 column we will provide to this. Now create table, table name, and then column names. So column name first will be employee id, EMPLOYEE, employee id, which will be our integer, and this will be our identity column, IDENTITY, identity. So 1 comma 1, seed 1 increment 1, and then here itself we can mention the primary key. So primary key. Okay, and this column will be our primary key. Now next column, so next column must have foreign key. So foreign key, let's take from employee, we will take the foreign key as department id from the department table. So for foreign key, two tables must be there, like one will be the parent table and one will be the child table. So employees table in this case will be our child table, and department table will be our parent table, and child table department id will search for department id in the departments table. Okay, so this is clear to everyone, like what is primary key, what is foreign key. So if not clear, then you can go and watch our constants video also. So there we have described each and everything in greater detail. So from there you can extract the knowledge about the constants. Otherwise you can check this particular question. Okay, so employee id will be our primary key, and then foreign key. So then take employee name, take employee name, which will be our let's take not null column. So YEE, employee, PLOYEE, employee name. And basically we can apply multiple constants also on a single column, like not null constant to the primary key we will give, but primary key and identity key will always be not null only. So that is clear, that primary key will not allow any null value. So basically for employee name we will keep the not null constant, which will be our varchar, and then 50. Then we will keep the department id, department id, and department id will be our foreign key. So this will be integer, and then for foreign key you can add here also. So foreign key, FOREIGN, foreign key, foreign space key, and then references, references. So which table it is referencing? It is going to reference the departments table, departments table, department id. Okay, departments table, and in departments table it will reference the department id column. Okay, department id column. Okay, so this is clear how to provide the foreign key. So here one comma is missing, that we will provide. Now again comma. Okay, then we have, so departments table we have, or department. Okay, departments, correct, spelling is correct. Okay, now we need the unique constant. So what we will make unique? So we can make employee mail id as unique column. Okay, so emp mail id as unique column. So which will be varchar 100. Let's take 100. Okay, varchar 100, and then we need to add the, this will be our unique constant. So for unique constant you need to just mention unique after the data type of the column, and then next will be our check constant. So basically salary we will keep as check constant, so it will check for salary greater than 10,000. So anyone, if they are going to feed salary less than 10,000, then they will get a error message like check constant is violated. Okay, so basically constant are for checking the data integrity and maintaining the data integrity over the table, that proper data is getting inserted into the table without any error. Okay, so now we have the salary column. So salary, and salary will be our integer column, and this will be check constant. So it, what it will check, so check check, and then here you need to mention the condition under the parenthesis. So check salary greater than 10,000. Okay, and then after this what we have the default constant. So default constant we will give to, let's take gender, no. So is active means we want is active column that will check if the particular record is active or not. Okay, so is active column, is active column, and the default value by default it will be, so the data type will be varchar 5. Y or n value we will provide. If the record is active then y, otherwise it will negative. So default value we will provide as active. Okay, so by default, for mentioning the default constant you just need to mention here only after the data type default, 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 and then the value. What value we want? By default we want y. Okay, and now the last one which will be, so not null we have already checked. Okay, so employee name we will put as not null. Okay, not null. So basically these are the major constants in SQL Server which we have applied here. Primary key, employee ID as primary key, then employee name as not null, and then department ID as foreign key, and then employee mail ID as unique key, and then salary as the check constant, and then is active as the default. Okay, so default value will be y. Now this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for these kind of questions. Okay, now execute this, and basically these questions are asked in question papers also. Some companies will provide you a test series or something like that. So in that test series also these kind of questions will come. Okay, so now when you execute this, so execute employees, select star from employees table, then you will find this particular table has been created. Okay, so employee id, employee name, department id, email id, and then salary. Okay, now how to check if our constants has been created or not? So similarly we will use the sp underscore help system sp to check the definition of the table. So we will execute sp underscore help, and there we will find each of the details about the constants and all. Okay, now execute this. So here you can see these are the columns that we have created, and in which employee id is the identity column, seed1 increment 1, and then when you go down in the same thing, then primary, so pk underscore employee, this is our primary key which is on employee id column. Okay, and then uq is our unique constant which is on employee mail id. Okay, and then check constant on salary. So for condition also it will provide or not, let me check. So check constant and what, so constant key, it is checking for salary greater than 10,000. Okay, then you can see the default constant. So default on column is active, and the value for that is default value is y. Okay, this is clear. Now foreign key, so foreign key will be our foreign key which is referencing department id, which is on department id column. Okay, and reference it is also providing. So what it is referencing, for that we need to expand this particular result set. Okay, so you understand this now, this is clear to everyone. Now move on to the next thing. So next what we have, primary key and then unique key. So primary key is on employee ID column, and unique key is on the employee mail ID column. Okay, so this is clear. Now move on to the next question. So this is completed now. So like this, you can create the tables with constants and also display it to the interviewer using the sp underscore help system store procedure. Okay, so then the next question what we have, write down the query to print first letter of a name in uppercase and all other letters in lowercase in employee detail table or employee table, employees table we can mention employees, employees table. Okay, so now copy this particular question, and this is a very good question. Okay, so you just need to be clear for this question. So here we are going to apply some system functions like string function we will apply, and then length function also we will apply for this. So what it is telling, it is telling that in employee table we need the first name character will be capital and other letters in small letter. So first of all, check from the employees table what record we have. So select star from employees, employees. So currently we don't have any record because this table is currently created only. So we will insert some record here. Okay, so insert into table, employees table. Okay, and then values. So values, for what columns we need to provide the values. So employee ID will be our identity column. So employee name we need to provide. So let's provide like John. So provide the first letter in small and then other in capital, so that we will explain this particular example. So J is in small letter and then other JHON will be in caps. Okay, and then we will provide the department ID. So department ID take first we need to do some entry into department table because there is a foreign key relationship between employees table and department table. So for maintaining the data integrity, it will check for the value in department table first. So first of all, move on to the department table and insert some values there. So first we will insert values into department table, and by this your practice will also happen for insert queries and all to write them quickly during the interview. So insert into insert into departments table, copy this and then paste here. Then values, what values we will insert. So we need to insert the department ID is our identity column, I guess. Okay, we will check here. So department ID identity column. Okay, so we don't need to provide the value for department ID, we just need to provide the value for department name. So department name, let's take CS as our first department, and then employee ID will be comma 1. Okay, and then we have our second. So second will be our HR department, and then this has two employee number 2. Okay, and then we have, let's take IT department. So IT and IT, here third employee is working. So this employee ID we are providing. Okay, so be clear on that. So why we have taken the employee ID column, I will let you know, because some of the question are based on that. So that is the reason we have taken employee ID column also in this particular table. And then we have the let's take payroll. So payroll department, payroll department. So here no employee is working. Okay, so null we will provide, null. Okay, now insert this particular values, insert into O is pending here. Okay, so department table is inserted. Now select star from here, control 4. So here you can see department names and employee ID as inserted into this, and department ID is the identity column. Okay, so now go to SSMS and write the query. So John, and then department ID, let's take 1, he is working. And then we have the employee mail ID. So mail ID will be like JHON John at the rate abkcho abkcho.com. Okay, and then employee salary. So salary, let's take 15,000 it is taking. 15,000, and then is active, so y, this is a active record. Okay, so y. Now similarly copy this to 2 3 columns, and then we will check the values. Paste and then paste. So one name we will take like Mary's name, so Marry. So first letter is small and other letters are capital, and then here we will take Manoj, so Manoj. Okay, now execute this. Incorrect syntax near employees, so insert into. O is pending here also. Now execute this. Manoj, what is the error? Comma is missing here. Okay, so here you can see in the error also you can see all the details while doing insert or update. So don't worry if some error will happen. If error will happen, then you will understand more clearly. Okay, so what? Violation of unique key. So unique key we have provided for employee mail ID. So see here, it is throwing us the error also. Okay, means our constraints are working fine. By this we can check. So here we will provide Mary at the abikacho.com, and then Manoj at the rate abikacho.com, Manoj at the rate abikacho.com. Now we will execute this, then we will get our value. So 3 rows inserted. Now control R and then check the question. So what it is telling, write down the query to print first letter of the name in uppercase and then all other letters in lowercase. So first execute the record, how we are getting the names. So employee name we are getting first letter as small and then other letters are capital, but here we need to do the reverse. We need to apply the first letter in capital and then other letters in small. So that for this we will use substring. So how to apply that? So select and then substring. So substring function, yeah, I think everyone is aware of this. So if you are not aware, then you can go and check our video on string functions. So there you can find out these things. So basically substring, what it will do, it will provide you certain part from a string. Okay, so for this 3 arguments are required: the string value, and then the number where we want to start, and then the number where we want to end. So basically substring here we will do for the name column. Okay, so employee name, and this will be the column. We will write the table name first also. So from employees table, yes, employees table, then substring employee name, comma, start with start with 1 and then end at 1. Okay, so start with 1 and end at 1. So basically first digit we want as capital, so starting with 1 and ending with 1, because it is taking 1 also. So if you will provide here 2, then it will take 1 and 2 also. Okay, so be clear on this particular part. So this is clear. Substring of employee name 1 comma 1, this will provide us a, and then here for a we will apply this as upper. Okay, so we want it into uppercase, so upper function we will apply here. So upper and then substring. So by using this, our first character will become capital, and then we need to concatenate. Then concatenate, what we want substring, substring sub. Okay, substring, substring of the employee name. Okay, and then we want to start at, so keep it in, press 1 enter. So then where we want to start, we want to start from 1, and then where till what digit we want to take. So we want to take it till the length end of the employee name. So here we will apply the length function. So length of, till the length of employee name. Okay, so how many characters we want? So from here all the length we want. So now execute this and then put a alias as employee name, as employee name. Now execute this and check if we are getting the correct result or not. So here I think we have missed one parenthesis. Okay, close this. Now execute this. So you can see here, and then here we need to mention lower, sorry, other digit we want in lower, so mention lower here. So lower function, what it will do, it will convert each of the digits into each of the character into lower case. Okay, so lower function will apply here, and then when we execute this will be the final query that you need to provide to. So from here we need to start from 2. So as I am mentioning previously, that it is taking the first digit also and the second digit also. So you need to be clear on this particular part, which digit from where you need to start the substring function. So from 2 we need to start. Now when we execute this, then we will get the final result. Okay, so you here you can see John, Mary, Manoj, all the names, and first character is in capital and other character are in small. So in place of this, we can keep the employee name column also in extra, so that we can match both of them. So employee name 1 comma employee name. Now execute this. Employee name updated we will take here, updated, updated, updated. Okay, now execute this, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer. Okay, so here you can match also like previously. This is the result we have, and this is the result the interviewer wants from us. Okay, so this is clear. Now move on to the next question. So next what we have, the seventh question. Write down the query to display all employee names in one cell separated by comma. Okay, so this is also a very good question, and by means asking this particular question, they want to know about some of the functions, some of the string functions. So string function video you must watch after watching this particular interview session, because that substring function will provide you a greater detail. So the video link you will find in the description also, or you can go to the channel also and search for substring function. Okay, so basically what here we need to do, here we need to take all the employee names in comma separated single cell. Okay, so currently how the names are coming, so select star, select from, okay, select from the employees table. Why we have mentioned the table name first, because intelligence will work for us now. So employees employees table, select from employees table, and then which column we want the employee name column, emp name or employee name, employee employee name. Okay, now execute this. So what name we have the employee name. Okay, now execute this. So the names are coming like this, and what we want all the names in a single cell. Okay, instead of this row wise distribution, we want the distribution by comma in a single cell. So how to do this? So for this we have an inbuilt function which is string underscore agg. Okay, that we have already discussed in the string video. You can go and watch for greater detail on that particular thing. Okay, and this particular function, inbuilt function from SQL Server, is introduced after and from the SQL Server 2017. Before that, all the versions don't have this function. So for that, it's a bit difficult thing. So we need to use the XML path and all. So that will contain a separate video itself. So we will provide a separate video if you will comment to us that particular method also we want. So but currently we have the inbuilt function which is string underscore agg, that we will apply to employee name and check our result set. So what is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer is like select and then apply a string underscore agg function on top of employee's name. So employee name, and then as single cell, single cell. Okay, now execute this, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer. Now execute and check the record. So the string agg function required 2 arguments. Okay, the separator name also we need to mention here, because string aggregate requires 2 arguments. So first will be the string, and then second will be the uh, separator. So what separator here it has provided? Comma separator. So in single quote you need to mention the separator name also. So comma will be our separator. Now execute this, and then we will get the final result. Execute. So here you can see John, Mary, Manoj are coming in comma separated value in single cell. Okay, so this particular question is clear to everyone. Now move on to the next question. So this is the important question also. Okay, so next what we have after this, we have the eighth question. So this is a very important question. Okay, mark this as very important. So write down the query to get department name and respective employee name which are working in a department. If more than one employee working on same department, then it should be in same cell separated by comma. Okay, so basically what it is trying to tell us, it is trying to tell us like we need the query where we need to mention the department name and the employee name under that particular department. And if one department contains more than one employee, then we need the value like comma separated value for the employee names. Okay, so first of all we need to prepare the data for that. So currently what records we have in the department table, we will check that, and then we will check what record we have in the employees table. So comment this out and then check select star from department table. So DEPART departments, 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 department table, departments. Okay, now execute this. So here we have some records. So basically for this particular question we need to drop our that one, drop our foreign key, so that we will show you if no department is allowed to anyone, then how the records are coming. Okay, so we will create the data like that only. So first of all drop the foreign key from the department from the employee table. So for that, how we will check the foreign key? First refresh the tables and then we will get the employees table. So where is employees table? So here is the employee table. Now expand this and then expand the keys. Okay, so here we have the foreign key. So foreign key we need to modify and drop. One second, close this. Not like modify, you need to go to script key as and then drop to, then new query window, and then from here you can drop. So what it is written the query? So alter table, table name, then drop constant, constant name. And for dropping any of the constant you will use the same query. If means interviewer will ask to drop from the query, then you can use this query and drop the constant also. Okay, now execute this, it will drop our foreign key. Now when we refresh this, then foreign key is gone. Now unique key also we will destroy. So is script constant as, then drop to, and then drop this. So here you can see same query has been returned, alter table, table name, drop constant, then constant name, then execute this. Okay, so both the constants foreign key and unique key has been dropped. Now refresh this. Okay, so primary key we will keep for now. And then what we have, then we have the department name and employee ID. So let's insert some more employee detail in the department table. First of all check the employees table. So select star from EMPLOYES employees table. Okay, execute this. What record we have here? So we have 3 records and these names are not looking fine to me. Okay, so for changing that we can use the this function, substring function, and apply the same rule here. So where we have that uh, 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 so we will copy this and then update the employees table. So update, then table name, which table? Employees table. Update table name and then set employee name equals to employee name equals to employee name equals to this particular function that we have created here. Okay, copy this and then paste this. So like this we can update using a function also our values. Execute this. Update table, set employees name as equals to first name will be upper and then other name will be in small. Execute this. 3 rows affected. Now when you select star, then these records are looking good to us. Okay, now control R. Now remove this, and for now we will put some values for department ID 2, department ID 2 and 3, and for 4 we will not provide any employee. Okay, so quickly just insert some records into employee and then we will insert into department. So insert into insert into insert into employees and then values. What will be our values? So mention some names like Rohan, and he will be working in IT department. So like second department he will be working. And then we have the mail id as rohan at the rate abcacho abcacho.com. Okay, and then salary, let's take as 25,000. And then this is a active record, so here we need to close the quotation, 25,000, and this is a active record, so y. Okay, y. Now quickly we will insert other values taking the same reference. So 2 employee we will provide in other two departments, and one department we will keep empty. Okay, so this will be our plan. So 2 we will put. Then after Rohan, let's take Reena, she is also working in 2. And then Reena at the rate abcacho.com, abcacho.com. And let's take the salary to 25,000 itself. And then we have Rashmi, Rashmi, and Rashmi will be working in third department. Okay, and then put the value. So like this you can prepare dummy data also while interview also, and when you are working in the companies also, then like this you can create the dummy data for you and use it for your practice, or doing some practical on top of the project that you have been assigned. Okay, and then we will keep Madan, Madhan, Madan at the rate abcacho.com. Okay, now we will put the comma. So this is clear. Now execute this query. So 4 rows has been inserted. Now we will check what records we have in employees table. So similarly we will update our departments table. So 3, 4 and 5 email IDs, employee ID are coming in 1. So 3, 4 and 5. So put some values like here. We will use the profiler for adding the value. Okay, so how to do this from a profiler? You can go and edit top 200 rows. So here you can mention employee ID for CS will be 2. And then so this particular department ID column also we need to update. Okay, so identity column we cannot keep because department ID is going to repeat here, and identity column will provide us only the unique records. So how to do that? We will do here only. So expand this table, or we can use a create drop statement. Okay, so now script table as, then drop to and create to. Okay, so drop and remove this identity from here. We can provide null also. Okay, now execute this. So no primary key we want currently. We can remove this particular part also, and then execute this. So currently above is the if exist then drop and then create. Okay, now null from here we need to remove the comma sign, then execute this. Drop table statement first, drop table name, and then we will execute the create table query. So create table and then close the parenthesis here. Okay, this is clear. Now execute this. So here we have recreated our department table. Now close this and then we will check what record we have currently. Cancel. So no. Okay, now select start from departments. Currently we don't have any record, and here in employees table we have some records where we have mentioned the 1, 2 and 3 as our departments. Okay, so how to update this? So insert into and then department table, insert into departments, values. So here now we will need to provide the value for department ID column also. So 1, and then first will be our CS department. Okay, and then employee ID. So employee ID 3 is working in CS. Okay, so similarly we will copy this record for 3 employees. Copy, paste, then provide the comma sign, then copy this, and then again paste. So here 3 employees are working in CS, so we will mention 3, 4 and 5. Okay, and similarly we will provide the values for, so 3 employees in second department also. So we will paste this. Second department will be our IT department. This will be IT. Okay, copy this, paste everywhere. Okay, and then which records 6, 7 and 9. So 6, 7, 9, 6, 7, 9. This is not how you will means resolve the question. This is basically we are creating the dummy data for our exercise part. Okay, as we have not created previously, so we are creating now only. And department ID will be 2. Okay, so this is clear. Now we will provide one record for third department also. Okay, then third department. So third department, and then this will be our HR. Which employee? Eighth employee. Okay, and then we will put one record for payroll which don't have any employee assigned. Okay, so third and then fourth will be our payroll. Payroll. Payroll, and this has null as employee ID. Okay, now execute this. So record has been created. Now select star from department. So we are getting these records. Okay, so one employee record also we will put who is not working in any department. Okay, so we can create record for Isaac. So control Z, here only we will edit our record. So ISSAC Isaac, and then null as the department ID. So null. Okay, and then Isaac at the rate abcacho.com, and then he has 2,50,000 salary. Once 10, 100, 1000, 10,000 lakh. Okay, now execute this record. So Isaac is not working in any department. Now move on to our question. So all the data has been created. Select start from employees, do one time. So here we have the employee ID, employee name, department ID, then employee mail ID, salary, and is active column. Okay, and in department we have the department ID and department name and employee ID. Okay, so those employees who are working in that department. Now what is our question? So we will remove this particular thing from now, and we will provide at the Telegram channel. So what is the question? Write down the query to get department name and respective employee name which are working in a department. If more than one employee working on same department, then it should be in same cell separated by comma. So basically here we need to apply the string aggregate function also, and then we need to apply the sub query also. And this will be our select correlated sub query. Okay, so how to apply this? Now check the query. So first of all, select and then table name. We need to join the both the tables, employee table and the department table. So select from department table, PART, department table, departments table. So D as alias, and then join from. So we are doing an inner join because we need the common records. Okay, so we are finding out those employees which have been assigned some department. Okay, now employees table join with the employees table. That is why we are doing the inner join. So keep in mind, if you are resolving any join problem, then understanding which join to use and when, so that is the first task for everyone. Okay, so join employees table, EMPLOYEES employees table. So employees table, which is E, on what basis? So on employee ID. So D dot employee ID, EMPLO. So D dot department ID, D dot employee ID, sorry, employee ID equals to E dot. I'm not sure why the intelligence is not working at this page, so we will check later. Okay, and then we need the department name. So D dot department name, D dot department name. Okay, so from here we will check the spelling also. So department name, copy this and paste here, and comma, we need the employee name. So basically for employee name, what we need to do? We need to write a sub query which will contain the aggregate string aggregate function. So select employee name, emp y employee name, select employee name, then from employee table, employees table, join with department table. One second. So here we will take like E1. Okay, E1, and then join this with departments table. So join with departments table. So here D we will take, and then on what basis? So on E1 dot employee ID, E1 dot employee ID equals to D dot employee ID, D dot employee ID. Okay, and then one condition we need to add, where E1 dot employee name, where E1 dot department ID, sorry, control Z, where E dot, where E dot department ID, E dot department PRT department ID equals to E1 dot department ID. So basically we will match the departments from external query to our sub query. Okay, as put a alias like as employee name, okay, and then here we need to apply the string aggregate function. So we need the comma separated values of the employee. So emp string string underscore agg for employee name column. Okay, now check if this particular is working or not. Now execute this. So the string aggregate function, okay, so comma separator, comma. So don't forget to miss this, because we have missed both the times in our tutorial video. So don't miss while the interview. Okay, because string aggregate is requiring two arguments, one is the string and then other is the separator. Now execute this. So here you can see in CS department, so first of all we will put a distinct here, so that we will get only the distinct records. Okay, means unique records. Select distinct. Okay, DISTINCT. Okay, now execute the complete query once. Then I will explain to you also the whole query. So here you can see CS John, Mary, Manoj are working, and HR Rasmi is working, IT Rohan, Reena and Madan are working, and these names are coming in single cell with comma separated. So what we have done here, so basically here we have found out the department name, and then in the sub query what we have mentioned, we are doing the string aggregate, means providing the values into single cell for employee name by using the correlated. So correlated, how it will be there, correlated subquery, because it is relating with the outer query also. So outer query we have the employees, so here it is referring the employee department ID to the inner query employee department ID. Okay, and basically here we are also doing the join, so that we will get the employee name which are working in a department. Okay, so this is clear to everyone, and this is a very simple query. If you have the knowledge about that substring and the that subquery, if you have the knowledge, then you will, this particular query is very simple to you. So for detailed video on subquery, you can visit to our channel and watch the subquery channel. There also we have mentioned each of these things in detail. Now move on to the next question. Okay, so this is a very important question. Mark it as very important. Now next question what we have, write a query to split the given names in a separate rows. So basically what we have done using the string aggregate, we have combined the records, and by now we need to separate these records in a single row. Okay, so basically move on, open a new query window. So here we have this question. So Alice, Bob, Charlie and David currently are in comma separated, and we want this into single row. So for this also we have a inbuilt function which is string split function. Okay, so that we will apply and do it in single row. So how to apply this? So first copy the string that we need to apply the string split function. Now comment this question, and the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer is select value from string string split and the string. Okay, so split by what value? So here also two arguments are required. One is the string and other is the separator. So comma separated values are there. So now we will apply the separator. Okay, so here you will get one column which is value and which has this particular value in separate rows. Okay, so string split function we have already discussed in our video also. So that string function are very important in SQL Server. Okay, so everyone must know this. Now execute this, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer. So here you can see all the values are coming in rows. Okay, so this is clear. Now move on to the next question. So next question we will quickly end. So next what we have, so what will be the output? So basically this is the most asked question. The interviewer will provide you these kind of table like 111 and 111 null values are there, and then he will ask you about what join will provide what output. So basically we have already created one video in this particular in detail, so you can watch that also, and here also we will resolve each of them. Okay, so we have already created these two tables like table 1 and table 2 join check. Now copy the whole query at once and we will resolve each of them in one go. Okay, now go to SSMS, then open a new query window, paste the questions. So first what we have, first we need to check table 1 join check inner join with table 2 join check. So here we have the table 1 join check, name, copy this, rename, then copy, and then do a select star. What kind of record we have here? So select star from this table, and then we have the second table, table 2 join. So rename this, copy this, and then select star from table 2 join. Okay, now execute this. So here we are getting 111, and table 2 we have 4 times ones and null. Now I will show you how these are going to work. So basically these are two tables. Okay, and the above one is table 1 and second one is table 2. Okay, so what it is telling, it is telling for inner join. So for inner join what it will do, each record from the left table will go and check each record at the right table, and if it is matching it will provide one output, and if not matching then it will provide zero output. So basically here how it will work, this one will go and check for this, so it is matching 1 1, so it will provide one output, then it will match for this, so one output, and for this, so one output, and for this, so one output. So 1 is providing 1 is providing 4 outputs, so 3 1 will provide 4 3 are 12 outputs. Okay, so for inner join the output will be 12. Okay, we will check this also. So 12 rows will come as the output, 12 rows. Okay, now move on and check applying the joins. So select and see all the videos in our on our channel are going live only. Okay, so no breakup and no here and there, all are live. So you need to practice like this only, in one go you need to practice all the questions. Okay, then after you will revise otherwise. Okay, so select star from table 1 join check, copy this and then paste as a, and then join. So inner join will be join, either we can provide join or inner join also we can mention, both are same thing. Okay, now b on a dot id equals to b dot id, b dot id. Okay, now we will check the output. So here you can see it is providing us 12 rows. Okay, so 12 is the output for this. So you just need to mention the output. Basically these questions, these kind of question will come like fill in the blanks questions and all like that also it will come, or multiple choice question it will come also. Okay, or otherwise the interviewer can directly ask you what will be the output for this. So at that time you must use that logic that we have mentioned, like each record from the left table will go and check the each record from right table and provide the output, so that you will answer upfront. Okay, so now move on to the next one. So next what we need to check, so next we need to check for left join. So for left join what it will do, basically it will do a inner join first, and then it will check, it will provide all the records which are in left table but not in right table. So in our case currently no records are like that which are in left table and not in right table. Okay, so it will provide the same number of records as we are getting in the inner join, which is 12 for left join also. So apply the left join here only. So left join table 2 on a dot id equals to b dot id. Now execute this. So for left join also you can check, we are getting 12 rows affected. Okay, so here 12 rows. So this is clear. Now move on to the next thing. So next what we have, next we have the right join. Table 1 join check right join to table 2 join check. So for right join, what output it will provide? So execute the query first. So here it will provide all the records from the inner join, which is 12, and then all the non-matching rows from the right table. So here we have one record which is null, which is non-matching from the left table. So it will in total provide 13 rows for right join. Okay. So how it will provide? Now write the right join here. So right join table 2 on a dot id equals to b dot id. Execute this, and then see here we are getting 13 rows affected. Okay, so this is clear to everyone. Now move on to check full join. So full join, what it will do, it will join both of the table. Inner join it will perform first, and then return all the records which are not matching in left table, and then all the records which are not matching in the right table. Okay, so this is clear. So here we have null is not matching, and all records like inner join first it will do, it will provide 12 records, and then one more record which is 13. So full join will also return us 14 records, 13 records. Okay, so full join, and then execute this. So here we are getting 13 rows. Okay, and now at last we have the cross join. So cross join, basically it will do the Cartesian product of each of the table, means all the records from right table left table are going to multiply from all the records from the right table. Okay, so basically it will provide a Cartesian product of both the tables. So in first table how many records we have? We have 3 records, and in second table we have 5 records. So 5 3 are 15. So in total cross join will provide us 15 records. And for cross join there is a specialty that you don't need to provide the on condition. Okay, because it is applying the multiplication, so on condition will not be applicable for cross join. So just you need to mention cross join. Okay, now execute this, and here we will get 15 record. Okay, 3 into 5 15. So this is clear to everyone, and thank you everyone for watching. This is the last video, and then if you need the documents and all, and the table structure and all, or the data sets, you can contact us at our Telegram channel. And also do like, share and subscribe, and many more videos are on the way. And as we have already mentioned that we are going to launch a master series on SQL Server once we reach the milestone of 500 subscriber, so that more and more people will benefit from that particular series. And that will be a complete series. From that you will become zero to hero, nothing will be missed, and you don't need to go to any other channel for that. Means all every detail we will provide you for SQL on that particular playlist. Okay, so thank you for watching. Thank you everyone. Keep watching, keep supporting. Thank you.